shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, loco, baby. You make me go loco, baby. You make me go loco, baby. You make me go loco, baby.
Yo, what's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome back to my podcast, Talking with Shawn, a new era. And this is finally season 2. This is season 2, episode 1. And we are finally back and we're finally filming. We're finally recording. We're doing all this certain stuff. I know a lot of you were paying attention to the preseason, which is the after season. That did release about like a month ago. But yeah, it's April. It's April 5th, ladies and gentlemen. We're finally here. And I have a feeling when I'm recording this that we're going to change the air date for the third time. And then it's not going to be April 5th. And then like we're going to air this earlier and people are going to be like, why the fuck did he say April 5th? But no, this is April 5th. I got some stories to tell. I got some great things to kick off the first episode because, nobody else is going to kick off season 2 rather than me, because nobody else can do it as good as me, you know? This is my show, my podcast. I do what I want. I'll say what I want, and I don't give a flying fuck, okay? And as you could hear from the after season and season 1, which was happening last year in 2024, this is now season 2. We have Talking with Shawn Unseen, which is not like a whole, you know, like separate series. It's just like almost every Sunday or every other Sunday, you'll see behind the scenes of certain people's episodes and segments and funny moments and games and stuff like that. Um, Obviously, we did announce that we are changing the format of season 2 and we are just releasing all the episodes at the same time, which is true. Okay, as you can see, there's episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and of course, episode 8, and then episode 9. Okay, um, I know, like, we were supposed to have 33 episodes in the beginning of the year, right? We were really on board with 33 episodes. But listen, that was before we had the idea to film it. And honestly, some may say that the production quality isn't that great. And I'm going to be completely honest, it's not that great. You know why? Because it's our first time filming our podcast. We've never filmed the podcast before. So it was a lot more work, a lot more, stuff. I mean, my editors, they know what to do. They know what I want, and I tell them exactly what I want when they edit. But we've never had to edit on such a tight time frame. Everyone thinks a month maybe edit to Yeah, everyone thinks a month may be good to edit some footage, but a month is not long enough to edit over 100 hours of footage for the show. Yes, we filmed that much. Maybe not with every guest we filmed for that long, but there are some guests nobody has any idea that they even came on the show. Like we would film for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours because we are trying to make this the best that we can be. For you guys, the people who listen, the people who support it, because we don't want to just, come out here and then, you know, have no have no way of preparation. You know what I mean? Like we have to be able to, work as long as we can, work our asses off and get this thing out there for you guys. And that's what's happening right about now. All right. Like we are doing it. Okay. And yes, I think some of you may have saw my reel of, like about a month ago now, but it was surrounding season 3 of the podcast. And now, if we were supposed to do season 3, which I'm completely fine with, we would have to change a lot of things for our schedule next year. Obviously, with the 33 episodes for this season, season 2, we decided to change it to 9 because we have to really make a lot of room for a new show that we're going to be working on with some other producers that's coming out in a few months. Okay? We can't tell you anything about it yet. All you need to know is that it's so big that we had to really cut off the entire season of season 2. Because honestly, and I need y'all to listen to me right now, okay? We like we had never ever this like ever thought that we would film a podcast. We never thought that we would do that unless it's for somebody else. Like for me, Shawn Rowland, the creator, and like I'm the person behind XTV. I'm the person behind SRM. I'm the person behind many other mini small production companies that are now coming up to fame, just slowly but surely. You know, people like there was like we've never ever like over here at my companies, we never thought to film like a podcast. We always just said, Shawn, you just sit down, just talk, send it in, we'll edit it, we'll cut some words out, and then we're good. You know, so it was really tough to really make that quick decision to film it and then film it all and get the audio because we're running on like multiple platforms at once. But for me, I only run one of my accounts, which is my personal account. I have people on the only on XTV Instagram account. I have people on the SRM Instagram account. I have people for the YouTube. I have people for the email. I have people for the TikTok. I have people on all of them because as somebody who's making these ideas and pitching them and then making them come to life, you have to be able to have the flexibility. You cannot, nobody in their right fucking mind can film a whole podcast by themselves on like 10 different platforms and release it all perfectly and smoothly. No, it's not going to work. They're going to have to, especially when a company tells everybody the air date before filming begins. Like last year, after season 1 concluded, it was like a week before the finale episode. I said, all right, May 3rd is going to be the day, right? And so we announced May 3rd a few months later, right? And then we changed it to April 5th, which is today. But I just think like you have to have a lot of confidence and you have to know what you're doing if you're going to release the air date to the public before you start filming. Because that means you have to time accordingly to everything. You have to schedule properly and efficiently for filming sessions, editing, and all of this and that. You have to make sure you get it right. Because if you don't get it right, it's not going to do good. You have to make sure that you're able to, like, be able to adjust to certain things with your time being taken up at an earlier date. Because normally, around this time of year, I'm not doing anything surrounding my shows. Like, we normally bring all of our shows out around summertime. We've never brought one of them out around springtime, and we never started filming in the winter. We never did that. We would always record or film or post when it's summertime or like late May or something like that. We would never ever start it before that. The last time we did that was 3 years ago. Was 3 years ago when season three of the original Talking with Shawn series released. Because we actually had 31 episodes, but they weren't episodes. Guys, I'm telling you right now, back then on season three, I didn't have a team. I didn't have a show. I didn't have a company. It was me and a phone and a fucking recorder, and I talked for about 10 minutes and then stopped the episode and said, "Oh, guys, here it is, new episode." I was never consistent with keeping the time frame long enough. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing when you're doing a podcast. If you're going to make it by seasons, or if you're just going to do it whenever you really want to do it throughout the year, but consistently, that's completely fine. But you have to make sure they're not 5 fucking minutes or 10 minutes. You have to make sure they're at least around 30 to an hour minutes long. And this episode is pretty long because after my session this year, well, not what the fuck? I mean, after my session ends on this episode, you guys will be hearing from Nina C and Lola. Okay, and let me tell you a little bit something. Nina C and Lola are absolutely fucking hilarious. Okay, I absolutely loved having them on the show. They were absolutely incredible, and they brought an energy that not many guests brought with them to where we filmed, and they were funny. I love people with a great sense of humor, and I love people who can, not just sit there in silence until we start filming. Like, even before we started filming, you'll see these on the behind the scenes thing coming up soon. But even like when when we were filming, but like not filming, they were still getting ready. They would just laugh, they would smile, they would have fun, they would try and figure out what to say, they would make jokes. Lola would sometimes get distracted. I remember in one of her, they did a game. I'm not going to tell you which game it is. It should be coming out later tonight. But they did a game, and my editors were editing, and they send me a picture of, like, they sent me a screenshot of Lola with the caption saying, "Currently editing Mr. Rowland," and saw Nina. They got her name wrong and called Lola Nina and said, Currently editing Mr. Rowland," and saw Nina staring at the camera. I think she was lost at which camera to look at in the very beginning. Because when we filmed, we had like three different cameras on them. And Lola was just like, right before they would start, that's when we got silent, and she was just like looking around like, huh? Huh? But honestly, it was funny. They're both funny. I love them. They're great. And honestly, I think the public really likes them because even before we were announcing these episodes, and we just posted that one picture on our stories saying session two is in progress, and it showed Nina and Lola. That was, I think, third most viewed thing ever on the SRMXTV Instagram account, because our current first one in first place has about 2,000.9 views for a reel, though, because that's normal. That's normal for reels to get like that many views. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So Aiden's right now is the highest viewed, 2.7 thousand for the reels, right? Nina's and Lola's, the first one, session two in progress, got 2.7K, just like a few numbers lower than Aiden's. Then the second one of them saying like we just finished, it's another 2.7, then 1.9, then 1.3. And our story with them on got about, I think, around 600 views. And I think that's the third most highest story post we've ever had. Because normally our story posts were like stay around the time frame, like the view frame of like, I think 200, maybe 300. I mean, apparently from the account, there's about 50.2 thousand views in the last 10 days. It updates every 10 days. You can set it to updates every 30 days or a year or whatever. We do 10 days just so we can keep it consistent. 50.2 thousand views in the last 10 days on this account. So people are definitely seeing this. I mean, there has been some people who, said they full on hated me, and then they unblocked me to go look at this show. And I'm just happy that people are excited for this, and I really hope you're enjoying me speak here. Because listen, motherfucker, it's a podcast, okay? You're obviously going to hear the audio first and then you might see the video. Okay. I think one thing that me and my team have to really like work on is clarifying an official statement, because we have posted so many times about, oh, this and that and this and that. We did not clarify too well that the full podcast episodes that you're listening to this right now on Spotify, we did not clarify that these will be on YouTube. Well, won't be on YouTube. We just said it's going to be shown on YouTube. So yes, if you didn't see the story, a few months ago, and if you can't remember and you listen to this now, the audio versions are all here on Spotify. Now, what you will be seeing over time will be the unseen moments, the behind the scenes, the bloopers, the interviews, and all of that. That's what you'll be seeing on YouTube and on our Instagram. Because we released the season here on Spotify, and then YouTube is our second go to place. So please, everyone, if you haven't already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. First of all, I have never, ever, ever once looked at our fucking channels. Because listen, I have access to everything and all the accounts. I just never fucking log into them. You know what I mean? Like, I have one main account for Snapchat and for Instagram and for TikTok. I never want to log in to the other accounts because I don't need to, number one, because it's being run by somebody else, right? But at the same time, I still just want to be like a little normal guy, I'm just a normal boy. I think some people kind of overthink who I am a little bit. They overthink how like quote unquote popular I am. I wouldn't say I'm popular. I would just say I talk to a lot of people, and if you want me to be honest, I've done a lot of stupid shit, so that's probably why people kind of still know my name. They're like, "Shawn, oh wait, didn't Shawn do this? Didn't Shawn throw a chair across the room?" um But yeah, I think that's also let's switch into another topic here. That's also one thing I want to mention. People don't really see the difference that I am from in school and outside. In school, you will always see the energetic, the loud, the happy, positive Shawn that, everyone can see. And sometimes, yeah, maybe angry, but I'm very loud, everyone knows that Shawn in school. If you know me personally, you know how I am outside of school. Outside of school, I'm gonna tell this to the world right now. I'm very sassy. I'm very lazy. I'm always sleeping. I'm always in bed, and I'm either always scrolling on TikTok. I'm always watching TV. I don't really play video games that often anymore. So I just have a PS5 just sitting in my room that I barely touch. But I really am trying. I'm completely different outside of school, honestly, including with my friend group. Like I still have that silly, silly, chaotic, loud, funny side to me when somebody sees me in public, but that's the side I switch to when I get noticed in public like that because it's just become a thing for so long now that I feel like the way people see me in school, the way people should see me outside of school when they see me, unless you're like really close with me. Because if you're really close with me, that means I trust you. And obviously, I care about you and I love you. That's great, right? Don't get any freaky thoughts, right? I'm just being nice now. But people don't see the different sides to me. Like a lot of people think I'm really mean from what has been said by me previous years or previous months on previous shows and school and everything. Some people may say I'm mean and I'm toxic and all that. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. I really honestly try my best to not be mean to anybody. But some kids are just so fucking stupid. You just have to fucking make sure they get that fucking shit in their head. You have to make sure that they understand what the fuck you're saying. Because some people are so knocked up in their brain, they can't understand a single word I'm saying. And then that's what pits me off. But you have to be straightforward with people. That's the one thing I've learned. I've learned so much stuff over the years from getting into production is that you have to be straightforward. You can't care about what other people think. You can't carry other people's words on the back of your shoulders for days and days and days for no fucking reason. You have to be able to move on and keep doing what you're doing without those distractions. You know what I mean? And it's like I used to be really, really nice. I was overly nice to people. I didn't know how to say no. I never knew how to say no to somebody. And I think that didn't change until recently. It didn't change until I think around March of last year, where I really, had a honestly, I had I had like my life almost on the back of my mind during last year. It was very emotional. It was a very emotional year for me, and I was going through so much at that time, and if you listen to the after season, you would know who I was talking about during March that year, and my mental health and the hospital and the everything, everything going on. I was That's the thing that people didn't people never saw. People never saw what how I was actually doing outside of school, because inside of school I always acted like I was happy because I didn't want people to worry about me. I rather have like other people stay happy and be positive, and then I can fake being positive so I don't have to make it negative. That's really what kind of just goes through my mind every time I feel upset, because I don't like to see other people upset, let alone myself. But the pain I was going through, I honestly wanted to die. It was so hard and so draining mentally and physically. I was up for hours and hours, didn't sleep once in that hospital, and I still went to school the next day. No, not the next day. It was on the day. I went to school the morning I got out of the hospital. I went to school 45 minutes later. You may have not seen me, but I was in school. I was just in a completely separate room because I couldn't bear to see anybody else. And I think that's what people never see. And I was asked the question recently if I was happy with the success of going on this year, or if I'm like, happy right now. And to be honest, no, no, I'm not happy. I think last year, I lost my comfort person. I lost the person who I really, really would go to for absolutely anything. And they would always be there for me and they would always help me no matter what. And I would do the same for her. And last year I lost that. And it was honestly really heartbreaking in a way, because I think for me, people don't understand that. Well, what some people say, I'm still just a baby, but I wouldn't say that. I would just say I'm still really sensitive to a lot of things. People may think I'm this really tough, popular guy with making money and having shows online and everything. No, I mean, I am, but I'm still really sensitive to a lot of things. And I think some people actually really need to hear that, is that what you say to me, it still hurts me. I may not show it, I may not show it in front of you and I may just laugh it off. But the next thing you know, I could be crying when I get back home. But what goes through my mind during that to pull myself back together is just telling me I do have thousands of people that know me, and I do have thousands of people that support me. And I have this wonderful team who's helping me produce these amazing shows, and my amazing friends and everything and my family. And it's just, that's who I have. That's who I put in my mind when I'm going through something. And it's quite difficult because it takes a lot longer for me to get over it now, since I don't have that one person with me. Because when I was upset, I would go to her all the time. It could be 2 in the morning and I could be really, really upset, and I would call her and she would immediately pick up. And she would stay on the phone for however long she needed to help me. And I would do the complete same for her. And I mean, I still get asked to this day if I miss her. And in this generation, people are like saying like, "Oh, you miss her? You said you were done with her. You said you were done with her. You're weird. You're weird." All that. Like people in today's world, people are so messed up when it comes to a relationship, right? And when like I always tell a few people that I don't miss her, but the truth is I do, because she really was the one that truly understood who I was. From all the sides of me. we got along so well and we clicked really fast because we had a lot in common with each other's personalities. And I think, that's the one thing people need to understand. It's that, like, with me, you're not always going to see that tough guy, you know? And, like, I've always been scared to cry in public or cry in school or something like that because I always thought people would judge me for it. But it's honestly, I find it okay to cry if you need to cry. You shouldn't hold your tears back and not cry because you think you're going to get made fun of. If you need to cry, you need to cry. You know what I mean? I think just March of last year was like just all of last year was extremely, extremely emotional. And honestly, if I could go back and change one thing, I would. You know, I would definitely, definitely do that because it's just some things that I did last year I really, really regret now. And I always tell people who come to me for advice, I say, don't, I kind of tell them in a way like to not really live with regrets, but that's kind of impossible. Everyone, no matter how tough they look or how small they are or whatever, they're going to have a regret that they've done in their life. It's like for one of my regrets is I wish I spent more time with my dog Sonny before he passed away in February. I mean, because Sonny was my second dog ever that was next to Bonnie. Like, I lost Bonnie last summer while I was at work with the kids at the summer camp, and I was in the middle of my work that I got that text. And I had to keep a brave act on and a brave face on around the kids because I didn't want any of them seeing that I was upset. Because they were always coming up to me, Mr. Shawn, Mr. Shawn, Mr. Shawn. Like, I couldn't be upset over there. They made me smile. And I think at the very end of the day, when we were waiting for pickup, I think one of the kids, they were being so like silly and it was just like they started talking about dogs. And then that's when I started getting a little bit of emotional. But I just couldn't deal with going to school that day when Sonny died and seeing everybody and putting another fake face on. I couldn't deal with that. And I just wish I could have spent more time with him because I don't live at the house he was always at. I live somewhere else. So I wasn't always able to see him every single day. But whenever I did see him, I was with him for hours, honestly. I would always cuddle with him. I loved him. He was great. He was always so happy to see me. And I really do miss him a lot. Like, he was honestly one of the best dogs I think I've ever had. I've only had four. But and him and Bonnie were so close. Sonny and Bonnie were so close with each other. And then when Bonnie was gone, the look on his eyes were terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And now it's only my dog Atlas. No Sonny, no Bonnie. So I don't even get to see him that often. But when I do, he's always an excited little pup. Always, always, always excited little pup. We will be back right after this quick 12-second break with another topic before we switch on to Nina and Lola. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I know that got a little bit of emotional towards the end, but it's been 30 minutes and you're probably sitting there like, oh, Shawn, can you just get the fuck off the screen? Can you just like get the fuck off, please? I want to hear Nina. I want to hear Lola. I will in a second, okay? Give me a fucking second. I just want to say A massive, massive thank you to everyone who has been supportive, everyone who has subscribed, everyone who has followed, everyone who has reached out, and of course, everyone who has came on season two for well to be a special guest. So thank you all very, very much, and I really hope you all enjoy Nina and Lola's segment.
Hey guys, I'm Lola.
And I'm Nina.
And we're really good friends now, but we haven't always been friends. So we first became friends in like seventh grade in like world cultures and geography.
Miss Cowan, shout out.
Yeah. And then in eighth grade, we did rec cheer, which kind of was unique experience for our friendship specifically. I don't really know. Like we had kind of some outside issues.
So we want to talk about how those issues can really affect you deeply and how you can resolve them.
So I think in eighth grade rec cheer, like I mean, that was a while ago, like a whole 2 years, but, I mean, there was just kind of, like
Weird tensions because everybody was really competitive because me and Lola started cheer for the first time in 8th grade, and it was a new experience for us, but also, like, a really, really new experience for friendships and, like, a social group, which was really difficult, and we were all trying to fit in, make it work, but that kind of caused, like, inside tensions and usually just, like it just, like, led to our fallout.
yeah. And then we did cheer again in ninth grade, but this year it was, like, varsity or not this year, last year, it was varsity cheer, it was high school cheer, and that's kind of, like, when me and Nina circled back. Cause in 8th grade, we, like, weren't really friends, like, we had science together, and then
Yeah, we were kind of we kinda had to work together for a while, but also, like, we just chose to, like, stay away from each other because of the issues, but those issues were just caused by really insecure and just not happy people, but we learned how to resolve it and just become best friends again, so
And, like, I wouldn't go so far to say that we were ever, like, off. Maybe we
great
were
vocabulary.
ops, I don't really know, but, like, it was kinda like we just, like, drifted eventually, like, we became friends in 7th grade, and then that 8th grade cheer was just a little, like,
It
us.
was like a new experience that wasn't great for us. But ninth grade, we learned how to grow as people, and that's definitely what everybody should be doing by each day because that's literally essential to making new friendships and relationships.
And if you wanna have I'm not gonna say good or bad relationships because I think it's never really like black or white like that. But I think if you want to make the most out of your friendships and relationships, you got to do some introspective work and you got to look within yourself to make sure that you're reflecting on your mistakes and getting better. And I think that's why me and Nini were able to lock in and become friends again in ninth grade. Like, I think mainly because of cheer, honestly, because we didn't really have
Yeah,
any
because
classes.
ninth grade cheer was honestly like so life changing as a person because like you're a freshman coming into varsity cheer. All these older people are so intimidating, but also they're really welcoming. And I could definitely see cheer as my second family because we're just all so close. And I just love the whole community. And that's how we just resurfaced. And I'm really grateful for that. And like you just have to learn how to take accountability for your actions and then just resolve everything and just make amends.
And then 10th grade cheer, I mean, like, I think we definitely were closer this year in cheer. Last year, we were in our comeback era in ninth grade, and then 10th grade actually, like, logged in. Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't any drama related to cheer this year, so
No, this year cheer was actually amazing and I wish we could stay that way. And our carpool, shout out Quinn Lamb and her car
shout out
Betty.
Betty.
Yeah, we just became really close because we learned how to put our past behind us and yeah.
Okay, we're back, and we've got some advice for the incoming freshmen.
Or if you're already a freshman, but you're still going through some changes, because you will, because it's high school and it's a massive change for you.
And honestly, everyone, because, I think advice is helpful at any age. You gotta embrace the change and you gotta be pretty go with the flow, especially in times like, being in high school since everyone's going through a lot. Everybody's like changing. Everything's like pretty much different in every aspect, like especially in super stressful times, like trying to get good grades, trying to manage school, friends, sports, like it's really
There's a
overwhelming.
lot of pressure on you, definitely. And if you can make it better, just start acting on it now and like just change yourself for the better, because that's going to like give you nothing else but like pure satisfaction for yourself. And I think we can talk about this because we've been through so much and we really know like what it feels like in every scenario of a situation. And um
Definitely don't be a bystander in like any capacity. Like, don't be a bystander in your own life. Don't be a bystander in your friend's life. Don't be a bystander in some like rando in the hallways life. Like, if you see someone getting bullied, which like I think, especially like now with like phones and stuff, like getting bullied is not like the movies. I thought coming into high school, you'd see some kid, pinned up against a locker saying, like, give me your lunch money. But that's not really how it is. A lot of it is, like, online and
And
stuff.
it's like really subtle because somebody might be like picking on you and you're not even realizing it because they're masking it as a joke. But like, if you got to learn how to advocate for yourself and how to stand up, because actually stand up when you're in high school, because like just watching this all happen is not going to do anything for you. And you just have to learn how to stand up for yourself and just like speak your mind.
And you gotta advocate for yourself if someone's being mean to you, advocate for your friends if someone's being mean to them,
Don't just stand and
and
watch, because that just like gonna, I know you're not gonna be wanting to get involved in drama, but sometimes you kind of have to put an end to all of it.
and especially advocate with your teachers. I know that I'm kinda scared of my teachers, I don't really like talking to them, but your teachers are usually not preying on your downfall. Like, there's a very rare occasion where you'll encounter a teacher who's, like, not the best, but I'm yet to encounter a teacher who doesn't want me to succeed. Ask questions, go to office hours. None of your teachers want you to get bad grades, and none of your teachers want you to fail in their class and, like, not learn anything. Like, especially in college and stuff too, you're gonna have to, like, advocate for yourself. Your college professors probably see more kids than high school teachers, so a lot of this is just kind of learning how to build good relationships in the future, learning how to, stand up for yourself, make sure you get the most out of your experiences in the future. And in high school, like, probably never going to see a lot of these people again. So, I think have these experiences and make these mistakes now so that once you're in like college or getting a job, it's like really not like you make these mistakes now and it's not that big of a deal, but in the future they could be a little bit more significant.
Yeah, like going back to the teachers, like ninth grade, I was really struggling in one of my subjects, but it was because I didn't reach out to my teachers because I was so scared. I thought they wouldn't like me or wouldn't like to help me. But I just went to my teacher and she literally told me exactly what to do, and I followed her instructions. Literally got 90s for the rest of the year, or hundreds. And I am so grateful that we have such a good education system, and like especially people too that want to help you, because like you just got to stick by the people that want to be on your side, not the people that drag you down in friendships, relationships, teachers, like anybody else.
And kind of going off of that, like, don't stick around people who want to drag you down. There's going to be people who want to lift you up, like your teachers, and who want to see you succeed. But there's also probably going to be a couple people that you're going to encounter, either like friendships or like relationships, that maybe aren't going to want to see you fail, but also are going to be like jealous or insecure. And
If they're going down, they're going to bring you down with them. Like, let's say they're not doing so well with academics, sports, whatever, and they're having struggles. But as soon as they see you go down on the same level as them, they're going to be happy. They're going to not want to feel alone. But also, you have to learn how to grow with your friends, like together. So both of you can evolve and just learn the most you can.
And especially with like friendships and even like romantic relationships, like you got to be able to notice when you're not being treated right or if your friend isn't being treated right. Like, honestly, there's so many people, like, everybody is still like a teenager, like, nobody's brain is fully developed. Obviously, all of us are kind of going through our own stuff, are still kind of growing into the people that we're going to be. But I mean, to a certain degree, there's just kind of like respect that everyone deserves as like another
Basic human
human
respect.
being. So,
No matter how much you don't like somebody, just stay in your own lane, focus on yourself, focus on your self growth, and just leave everybody alone, honestly. And like people that don't treat you right in relationships, any kind of relationship, teachers, parents, romantic relationships, friends, you need to get out. You either need to solve it and actually like hold no grudges, or you need to get out because they're just gonna drag you down so badly that you're gonna lose yourself too, and that's the last thing you want to do in high school.
so I think the moral of the story is find your friends and make the most out of it. And if you have a friend or, a partner or a teacher or anyone in your life that is trying to make sure you don't succeed, you're not a
Just
bad
leave
person.
them.
You are not a bad person for running for the hills very fast. And don't let anybody make you feel bad for like getting out of a bad situation because at the end of the day, you are number one in your own life. Maybe that sounds a little crazy, but I mean, it is your life. So you do need to prioritize your mental health,
Your
your
well
physical
being.
health. You got to prioritize you to a certain extent. So, yeah, don't let anybody make you feel bad for putting you first.
Yeah, always put you first because you matter and then it's everybody else. I know you might care like so much about someone, but also your feelings matter too. And losing yourself for somebody else, that is never the right thing to do. And just make sure to like, I don't know, speak your mind all the time. And if you're trying to hold back, don't hold back. Honestly, just speak your truth and stand up for yourself and find the people you want to be with that don't make you feel really bad about yourself or don't make other people feel bad about themselves.
Anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.
So tying back into cheer, just like how we started, we want to share some great moments from our
From this
experience.
season.
Yeah.
So there was one day we had a game at like 2 p.m. on a Saturday. It was, you know, it was definitely an interesting time. I missed the bus. It was
Oh
an
yeah, she missed the bus.
it was an away game, and we need to we get a bus that'll take us to the games, and I forgot that we had a game, and then I was like, checking my phone, scrolling my Snapchat, and I see, like a million messages from our cheer group chat, and it's like, guys, are you here yet? Guys, are you here yet?
She was not there.
I was in my pajamas actually when I was getting these messages telling me like 5 minutes away from the bus, so a little bit scary. So
I just sit alone. Not
yeah.
fun.
I texted, I'm like, guys, I might miss the bus. Like, should I just email coach? So I emailed my coach. Sorry, coach, I can't take the
Shout
bus
out, Coach.
today. She goes, if you don't take the bus, you're not allowed to go to the game. And
Yeah.
I saw that after the fact. So I was already at the game and I saw that email. So we end up going, and it's like,
The whole game's just like so wonky because no shade, but we were just like tied the whole time. But then one last touchdown, we got it, we won. It was great, honestly. And then she took the bus home.
yeah. And it was like, wait, was that the game where there was that guy in the student section who doesn't go to our school?
Yes. I don't know his name, but he was at the basketball game too, and he's really fun. He literally yells like "I love you, Chatham," and he starts chants. I love that guy so much. If you're watching, shout out to you.
We have no idea who he is. He'll go to
I think he goes to like Persephone. I don't even know.
yeah, he goes to a football game once a month, and then he starts all of these cheers.
He comes to our away games. See, that is loyalty right there. That game was like 2 hours away too, like an hour and 30. I don't even know.
It's pretty far. But if you are looking for a fall sport, this is your sign to do cheer because we have so much fun. We have super cute uniforms. We get to leave school early once to go
We
to
wear
a game.
skirts to school on Fridays, and we have a really fun and loving community, and you should really join if you're a freshman or any grade. Actually, you can join anytime you want. Tryouts are really fun. June 6th, I believe, and then
Sometime in the beginning of June, we have tryouts.
and then at the beginning of August, we start practices. Really fun practices, by the way. It's at middle school. And our coach, Taylor, amazing coach.
She is a diva. We love her.
We do. And she teaches us choreography, new cheers, and we have a lot of fun. And we also have a cheer camp for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get a gym exemption. Just
And you get a
saying,
gym
guys.
exemption.
And
Unless
do
you're a
winter
freshman.
cheer.
Yes.
Nina doesn't do winter cheer with me, but I can confirm.
I'm joining next year, so you guys should join too because it's really fun. And
be like Nina and join winter cheer. It's super fun. We get a gym exemption and we go to the home games only, so you don't need to travel. So, in my humble opinion, cheer is one of the most fire sports that we have.
Exactly. Stunts are so much fun. You can do literally whatever you feel comfortable with. And our choreography, amazing because we have a great coach. And our cheers are just so much fun, even if nobody does it in the student section, nobody cares.
We have fun on our...
So,
Anyways,
join cheer.
bye. Thank you.
Bye, guys.